evening from BBC London News. The government's under pressure to overhaul the regulation of high street pharmacies after a BBC London investigation exposed chemists illegally selling potentially dangerous drugs. Secret filming captured numerous pharmacists touting Valium and addictive opiates over the counter with no prescription. Doctors say it could put lives at risk. Tonight, Westminster City Council has announced it's suspending its contract with Curie Chemist in Maida Vale, one of those exposed. Lynn has this exclusive report.
Excuse me, sir, you are the pharmacist. Okay. You've been selling dangerous drugs over the counter like they're bars of chocolate. Why have you been doing this?
Answer any question.
We've just confronted a high street chemist selling controlled drugs with no prescription. And he's not alone.
Can you tell me why you're selling controlled drugs over the counter like temazepam?
For the last few months, we've been undercover, entering a world where if you know the chemist or speak a different language, in this case Arabic, they'll sell you highly addictive drugs with no checks.
Valium. Yes. Valium.
They do so without a prescription, breaking the law for cash. And in the space of a few weeks, we buy nearly 300 tablets. They charge anything from £75 to £200 a time, an enormous markup on the actual drug costs. And it gets worse. Temazepam, a potentially hazardous sedative, which must be kept under lock and key, traded on the black market by Class A drug users, with huge potential for abuse. We buy it as easily as paracetamol. Who knows where the tablets this shop sells go and the addictions they're feeding. We also buy a bottle containing painkiller morphine. An overdose on this could be lethal.
Do you want 5 ml, تاخذ 2.5 milli.
Doctors say they're playing Russian roulette.
They are actually interfering with people's health and potentially exposing them to the risk of serious side effects and even death.
The government says it's tackling this problem. But in the last year, in the whole country, the General Pharmaceutical Council says it's taken action against a single chemist.
We found 9 registered pharmacies here in the heart of central London that were prepared to sell us potentially dangerous drugs over the counter. So is this a few rogue chemists or a wider problem?
I think what's been uncovered here asks serious questions of the regulatory system of pharmacies, and I think it's for the government now to order a review into whether the system of regulation is doing a job. You know, for pharmacies to be acting in this way, I mean, this is just unacceptable on every level.
We contacted the pharmacies in this film to ask for an explanation. They all failed to provide one. So, time for some answers.
Lynn from the BBC. Do you know what that is?
No.
That's tablets of Valium that we purchased without a prescription from your pharmacy.
It's impossible.
It's impossible, is it? Well, we've got you secretly recorded doing it, so how can you explain that?
I'm not.
Come on, go out.
We will be handing the drugs over to the authorities.
Why are you selling these dangerous drugs?
Calls are now mounting to clamp down on chemists like these. Lynn, BBC London News, Central London.